Hey, I want to share Genevieve's story with you guys. So give me a second. I'm going to put it on screen share. Just let you read it. It's just one paragraph. So Kevin, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
I'll just let you read it then.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you've all read that. So I thought that was just a kind of an amazing story, and it really makes me think a lot about my teacher, Master Zhang, because Master Zhang would not tell you the answer to things. He would say kind of one of two things. He would say, "Pay attention," or he would say, "Interesting." Interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. But he wouldn't say, "Well, this is the answer." Um, and I think it's because Zhang was a lot smarter than I am. He was more evolved. Let's put it that way. Um, and he realized that there's a big difference between somebody telling you what the answer to something is and finding it inside yourself. It's the same thing, but the method through which you find it is different. And so this story about this young 11-year-old girl who, I mean, that's amazing that there's a spring inside. It's a bottomless well. You can use that energy. You can give it to your lungs. You can give it to your legs. You can use it to clean your room. I can give it to other people, and I can refresh it by going outside and being out in nature and being out in the rain. That's about all of Qigong in a nutshell. And this 11-year-old kid figured it out. That's a lot different than sitting in a chair and having somebody tell you, well, it's this and this and this and this and this. Now you understand it. No, it's two completely different things. Anyway, okay, now let me tell you what Tai Chi is, right?
The Baltimore Catechism of Tai Chi.
It's kind of that way, isn't it? The truth is, I think Tai Chi is a lot like playing a musical instrument. You have to do a lot of sweat work to get to the place where it's yours, and once it's yours, then you can be like that 11-year-old kid again, and you can just begin to play, and it's just obvious what it is. All right, the move we're going to work on today is the one we did last week, and I think we'll just completely redo it it's really in there. And it's called dodged through back. Dodged through back is this. Boom. The very end of the move. But that's the way most of them are. They're composed of, a dozen different things, and they name it after the last part in the move. Not always, but most of the time. Okay, so let me just demonstrate this, right? It starts right here, and in fact, let me go back and do it. Let me go back and do the move middle winding just
But Malcolm,
before that.
can you go back where you have to turn like 180 degree or
Oh
yeah.
yes, yeah, absolutely. We're going to do
Okay.
that. We're going to
Okay.
do that. I'm going to go back even farther. I'm going to go back to middle winding
Oh,
to make sure this is in context.
okay. Thanks.
All right, so middle winding. Dodge through back. Okay, so let's break this down piece by piece, and I'll do it in different positions so my back will be to you sometimes, etc. But right at the beginning here, let's just break it down. So the move begins where middle winding ends. All right? So middle winding ends here, and there are two figure eights to the right. One, two. So those two figure eights are essentially the same thing. You're just repeating it twice with a little difference with your footwork. So I'll do it facing you. All right? It's going to be a figure eight to the right, and then step back. And another figure eight to the right, and step forward. Figure eight to the right, step back. Figure eight to the right again, step forward. All right, let me do it from the side again. Figure eight to the right, step back. Figure eight to the right, step forward. All right. So one of the things that you've done in that is change your position slightly. When you begin this move, you're in a more open horse stance. And you start from the right and boom. Now you're in a more linear horse stance and you step forward. So instead of your foot being out like this, your foot is now like this. One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. So for the most part, the weight is going to be on your left foot until the very end. So watch. All right. To the right and left. Stays left, stays left, stays left, right. So you're you're bringing your weight back, right? Left, right, left, stays left, right. Boom. All right. Right on your midline, just to the right of your midline. Boom. Okay. When you finish that part, your weight is forward, right? You've used your body weight to tie this guy up, right? Forward. Well, your weight is going to be forward. Now, to get into the next part of the move, you got to move your weight back again. So to the right, close, to the right, open. Now you got to pull your weight back. So instead of your weight being on the right, you're going to pull it back to the left. And you're going to spin around your dantian like this, just like this. Only it's just going to be with this hand. It's not your arm doing it, not your elbow or your shoulder. It's your whole body. All right. Pull back and spin. Pull back and spin. You're moving your weight to the back foot, the left foot, and then you're coming up through the body, pop. And you're using the edge of the hand here, all right? Right into the middle of the forehead. Boom. Snap the waist. It looks, if you don't know, it looks like I'm snapping my arm. There's a little of that in there. But what you're really doing is snapping the energy all the way from the bottom of your back foot. It's coming up from the bottom of the back foot, snap. And the advantage to doing it that way is you've got your weight behind it. All right? That's a lot stronger than just doing this. All right? All that weight. Kevin, what's the formula for force?
Mass times acceleration.
That's right, mass times acceleration. Right?
F equals mv squared.
Yes, so, right, to the velocity squared. So your acceleration actually happens and in a sense, it speeds up through the whole thing. It speeds up, speeds up, speeds up. Imagine that your body is a series of pipes, right? You got a big pipe for the leg, you got an even bigger pipe for your center, and then the pipes start to get smaller and smaller and smaller. But you're going to move the same amount of fluid, the same amount of chi through each of those pipes. As the pipes get smaller, what happens? You're gonna have to accelerate the movement of the chi, because you don't have the same width of a pipe, so you got to move it through faster, all right? So it starts slow and then boom, at the end it really speeds up because you're just moving it through these little pipes at the end of your fingers. That's one of the great tricks of Tai Chi, that you can feel it in your body. It's one continuous energy. There's actually we haven't done them yet. At some point when you guys have moved along enough, we'll go over the 8 characteristics of Chen style Tai Chi. One of the characteristics, let me see if I can remember, Yi Chi Hei Cheng Yun Dong, which is almost impossible to translate, but the translation we came up with in class was movement in one go. It's just one movement. It's not like a whole bunch of little movements all spliced together. It's one movement. And that's kind of a way of getting at the idea that you're moving the momentum through the body, moving the chi through the body is one thing. And this is a perfect example of that. You can feel it. And if you can grab hold of that feeling, you'll grab hold of a lot of what Tai Chi is. All right? So this is a very simple little movement, but there's a lot of secrets tied up in it, right? 1, 2, 3. Pull back again. Open the toes so that you can walk through. You don't trip over yourself. And now you're going to turn your waist. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you remember, I told you this hand, this kind of hand is called a swallow hand, right? Like a bird, right? And this is called the swallow's nest. That indentation right in there, right above the bones. Right? The swallow wants to go home to the swallow's nest. So, what are you doing? Well, first you're hitting this guy in the head. And then, maybe then he decides he's coming at you like this, right? You're blocking an arm, right? And you're blocking another arm. And then the swallow comes home to the swallow's nest. Now, when you do this movement, another name for this hand is a shingle hand or a pipe hand. You're arranging your physical hand to promote a certain energetic structure in your hand. And a way to think about this is you're wrapping your hand around something, and that's what's coming forward. So if this is a pipe, now this has the shape of a pipe. In China, they say you're going to have to eat the pipe, right? Watch this. In order for this to go up, this has to go down, or it helps for it to go down. You can certainly do it without that, but with this going down, it really accelerates this going up. So the fingers need to be shingled on top of each other, right? They're not just next to each other. This is not correct, right? This is correct. They're shingled on top of each other like shingles on a roof, right? And then the thumb is closed, but not all the way. It's not touching, it's just closed. So the shape of the hand is like a cylinder. Boom. It should not be hard. It should not be hard until the energy hits it. The energy is coming up from the bottom of the foot up to the hand. You can feel it. It's like a wave. The wave is what makes your hand hard. But that isn't going to happen until the wave hits those fingers. And as soon as the wave goes into the other guy, the fingers are soft again. So it's soft, 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 hard, soft. It's only hard for a second because the hardness is from the wave going through. All right? So if you what Master Zhang would have us do, one or two people, usually me, he'd have me stand to the side, and he'd come up really slow, and he'd say, "Now, the hand would be in the right configuration," but he would say, "Now touch my hand, feel it. It's soft. You know, it's not like pudding, but it's not all hard and tense. It's soft." And then he would go, "Now I'm going to hit the guy. Feel it. Feel my hand." Well, then it's like a knife. But as soon as the energy goes into the other guy, boom, it's immediately soft again. This is hard to explain because words don't do a good job with this. The tension in the hand is not from the hand. It's from the movement of the chi through the body. So it's not hard until the chi gets there, and as soon as the chi is left, it's not hard again. It's just a split second that it's there. Yeah, Kevin.
One way I always think about things like this is that you never want to tense up it then because somebody could change your strategy. So if you're all tense and he moves or something, you have to relax or he's going to knock you down or something. But you want to be able to respond and then you hit at the last second.
Well, that's absolutely true. There's another even deeper kind of thing. Tai Chi as a martial art is about throwing your chi into the other guy, right? You're whacking him. You're not just hitting him with your fist. You're hitting him with your chi. You're hitting him with this pulse of energy. Any place in your body that is stiff, has muscular or joint stiffness, will stop the flow of your own chi. So if you've got it in your head that I have to tense up and then I'm going to hit him, well, now you're all tense. The chi can't move through. It's going to stop inside you, it's going to stop where the tension is. And it's not going to flow into the other guy. So it seems a little counterintuitive, but think about it. You have to stay very soft. Now, it's not, soft like this, but it's soft. And what you're hitting with is the flick of the towel. There's nothing hard about this towel, right? If it is hard, it probably won't work very well. Although the very tip can be hard. Right? But when you flick somebody with it, they'll know. I was thinking the other day. Remember, we just talked about getting popped in the middle of the head. We had a big workshop in 2001 down at Pema Asaling, which is a Buddhist retreat center up above Santa Cruz. And we had like a 4-day workshop there because Master Feng came from China and gave us a workshop. And he went around the whole United States and gave, I think, four different workshops. And we had a student, a Chinese student, named Hoban. Hoban. In English, we just called him John, and he was fluent in both English and Mandarin. And Kevin, did you know John Hoban? He was only about this tall, but he was really built, right? And he had done lots and lots and lots of martial arts in his life. And he was a little older than most of the students, so Master Feng was giving some talk about Qi. We had done early morning Qigong together, and then he was talking about Qi. And Hoban asked the question, do you really put your Qi into somebody else? And Master Feng said, come here. And then Hoban's going like, Hoban was a very funny guy. Everybody loved him. He was one of those people that just everybody loved him. He was one of my sparring partners, and we all loved him. And he was very forward. He wasn't scared to ask questions or to mix it up with the masters because he was very experienced martial artist. And Master Feng said, come up here close. Master Feng took his hand like this. And he closed his fingers together. Like this. And he went right into the middle of Hoban's forehead. Pop! Like that. And I was standing probably 50 feet away. And when he hit his head, it was so loud, it was like somebody rang a bell. I mean, it was shattering, and you could hear there must have been 100 students there. Everybody goes, oh my God, you know. And Hoban stands there, and he just sat down in the grass, and he just sat there. And then the class went on, and Hoban, we went up to John afterward. And we said, the guys from Master Zhang's class who always sparred with him, we went up afterward and asked him, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Did it hurt? No, it didn't hurt at all. He said, but I felt like my whole being, my whole brain just got rung like a bell. You mean it didn't hurt? No, it didn't hurt. But it was so loud. He said, I don't know what to tell you. It didn't hurt, but I couldn't stand up anymore. And that was our lesson about transferring Qi from one person to another person. All right. The masters, both Zhang and Feng, were really good guys and good teachers. They never bragged about anything, and they never showed out. It's just, the mistake Hoban made was he asked a good question, and he got the answer, but Master Feng never explained anything. He didn't explain what he had done. He didn't say it was this and this, that I did this and this and this. He just did it, and then they went on.
So is John the Wing Chun guy?
Yeah, he's done a lot of Wing Chun. So
I did meet.
He is a very experienced martial artist. I mean, 30, 40 years of experience before he even got in there with Feng. But that's what that's if from the martial side, that's what you're going for. It's just pop, pop, and they can't stand up anymore. They have to sit down. Okay, so that's what you're doing. All right. 1, 2, 3. Pull back and open the toes. 4, 5, 6. Okay, now comes the place where we change orientation 180 degrees. This is what Catherine was saying just a little while ago. And the tricky part about this is the footwork. So let me demonstrate the footwork for you. The footwork has to be very exact or this won't work. And when you learn it, you just have to look down and count the number of inches and look at the angles and learn it. Once you go through that process for a couple of weeks, then you'll just have a feeling inside the body for what you need to do, and you won't even have to think about it. Boom. Stand up, all your weight on the left, and plant the right foot at 90 degrees. All right? 90 degrees. And if you were to draw a line back from your forward foot, this foot needs to be on that line. Not back too far, not forward, right on that blue line. And you need 4 to 6 inches between your heels. Let's do it again. There you go. Now you just bring your weight back to the right and you throw this guy. Throw him. Now you're doing the same thing with your toes. They're also 90 degrees, and if my toe is on this crack, on this line here, this toe needs to touch that line. Not too far forward, not back, right on that line. Step up, step. Now look down at your feet. Adjust your feet, whatever you need to do. They should be at 90 degrees from each other, and your right foot, the heel of your right foot, should be on the line created by your left foot. Shift your weight to your right leg. Right? Keep your knees open a little bit. Shift your weight to your right leg and throw this guy. Now you're doing the same thing with your toes. Now watch. I'm going to shift my weight back to the left and just let myself pivot on the ball of my right foot. Now I've turned 180 degrees. This is, of all the places in the form, this is probably the one tricky footwork kind of place. And all you can do is just do it by rote memory until it gets into the body. 1, 2, and spin. Oh, and now you're going to do dodge through back. All right, so I'm going to step back and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. The foot, when you do dodge through back, the foot arcs out. Right? It's a sweep. So you're actually on the ground. You're not stepping back, you're sweeping back. And why do you do a sweep? Well, it's to knock somebody's foot out from underneath them. Right? So you sweep, prepare your arm here on the left side, the right arm on the left side, sweep, and 1, 2, 3. And you're facing, your hips should end up facing straight forward. Right hand down at the hip, left hand at the shoulder or the solar plexus. So, what you're doing with the foot, all right, is to come out and sweep the guy's lower body from underneath. This stuff up here is to control his arm. So you may notice this is a big movement. Boom. Usually the movements in what we're doing are relatively short movements. Boom. So what you're dealing with when you're doing that is you're dealing with somebody's wrist and elbow. And you're controlling their arm by controlling their forearm. But this is not that. This is a bigger control. You've got the wrist, but you've got the shoulder on this side. Not the elbow, but the shoulder. So it's 1, 2. 1, 2. And that's one of the reasons why there's some time in between the movement of the right hand and the left hand, because you've got the whole length of their arm to deal with. If you tried to do this just like this, it doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't take into account the movement of their body. So instead, it's wrist, shoulder. All right? 1, 2, 3. And we have a couple of minutes here. Should go over so that you remember what you're doing when you're spinning from this dimension to this dimension. 1, 2. Hit and block, swallow's nest. Step up, right? Throw. Right. Spin, step back, and 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? So you've got some picture in your mind of what's happening. Let's do it a couple of times. We'll just review it again tomorrow, so you've got it. The next move is relatively easier than this. This is actually a long, difficult move. I think this is one of the most difficult moves in the form. Let's do the whole move. 1, 2. Pull back and hit. Pull back, open the toes, and block, swallow's nest. Step up, plant your foot, transfer your weight to the right, and throw. Transfer your weight to the left, spin on the ball of the right foot, and step back, and sweep, 2, 3. Let me do it with my back to you. 1, 2, hold back and hit, hold back and block, block, swallow's nest. Step up, transfer the weight to the right leg and throw. Shift your weight to the left, step back, I'm out of room here, and 1, 2, 3. Any questions? Well, this is a difficult move to get. It's just going to take a few times doing it over and over. We'll do it again tomorrow. Just go through the whole thing again, and we'll get more practice time in here. So we sort of just repeated what we did before, going through what it is you're doing. So hopefully you've got a picture in there, right? But we'll do enough repetition tomorrow that you'll start to get it. Okay? Any last questions? All right. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao.